Hey there, and welcome back to Plays Well with Butter. I'm Jess Larson, and today we're gonna make the weeknight dinner I have been obsessing over lately. These are the best black bean tostadas with charred sweet corn and creamy avocado crema. With three key components: flavorful refried black beans, smoky charred sweet corn, and a creamy and cooling avocado crema, these tostadas are maxed out on flavor and they have so much amazing texture. You'd never even guess it's a 30-minute dinner that is so easy to prepare. Basically, it's a weeknight dinner dream, and I think you're gonna be obsessed too. Now, I've loved tostadas for about as long as I can remember. When I was a kid, my mom would make these epic, like 90s style tostadas made with seasoned ground beef and like a slice of American cheese melted over top. So retro, but so good. But in the past couple of years, I've really re-embraced tostadas in my weeknight dinner routine because they are just so easy and they're so satisfying. And what I've learned about tostadas since I started making them again more regularly is that what separates a good tostada from a great tostada is a few different components that create layers of flavor and texture. So that's exactly what we're doing today with these black bean tostadas. We're starting with a really delicious base of refried black beans, keeping things super simple by using canned black beans, but we're gonna lace it with flavorful aromatics and spices, and it's so simple to throw together. So all I'm doing here is dicing a medium-ish yellow onion into small pieces that we're gonna soften up with garlic, with spices like cumin, coriander, paprika, all good things. And then we're just gonna let those beans warm up in that mixture so they soak in all of that flavor. So I've got my onion diced. We have 4 cloves of garlic, and this is my secret little trick for prepping garlic really quickly. I just run it over a microplane, and it's like perfect finely chopped garlic every time without making your hands smell like you've been working with garlic all day. All right, and the last thing we'll kind of quickly prep before we head over to the stovetop are the black beans. Use your favorite canned black beans. They should be pretty flavorful to begin with, and we're just going to lightly drain them. Don't need to pour all of the liquid out, but some of it, because that liquid is actually really flavorful and we want to keep that. So we're going to use 2 14-ounce cans. And with all of our ingredients prepped, we can start refrying these black beans. First, we'll start with a good amount of olive oil, and I'm just going to add those onions right into the skillet over top. Give them a good amount of salt. And we'll just let these sweat and kind of do their own thing until they're softened and translucent. While we do that, I'm gonna actually move it to a separate burner. We're gonna work on our second component for these black bean tostadas, which is charred sweet corn. This is such an easy way to take sweet corn to the next level, especially if it happens to be in season. Just pop the ears of corn right on the gas burner. You'll start to hear them pop and crack, but we'll let them cook a couple minutes per side, and these will get nice and toasty and charred, which is so good. If you don't have a gas burner, you could also totally do this on a grill pan or on your grill outside or right under the broiler. And we're already getting some nice color. As you're watching your onions, as you're cooking the beans, just keep an eye on these and give them a turn every so often to make sure that they're browning up evenly on all sides. All right, our onions are softened up really nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and add all of that garlic that we grated and let it get nice and fragrant. Once you start to smell that garlic, it is the perfect time to add in your spices. I have a simple combination of chili powder, cumin, and paprika here. We're gonna add it on in, give it a good stir, and we'll kind of let those toast and warm up before we continue building our refried beans. Things are starting to smell really good in here. Once the spices are really toasty and fragrant, you can go ahead and add in those black beans. And we'll stir to make sure that they're coated in all of those flavorful aromatics. And at this point, we just want to warm the beans up. and they'll start to soak in all of that flavor. To help move things along, we'll pour in a little bit of water. I just added water into the can to loosen up some of the beautiful liquid at the bottom. And we're gonna bring this to a simmer and let it do its thing for like 5 minutes maybe. The beans will really begin to soak in all of those flavors, and then we can mash them into a beautiful spreadable consistency. Our corn is looking excellent, so I'll take those off. Our beans are looking really great. They're smelling even better. So now we can mash them up. I have a little mini potato masher that I like to use. You could use a regular potato masher or even just the back of a wooden spoon. But we're just gonna mash these up into a nice spreadable consistency. You can leave it as chunky or make it as smooth as you like. All right, these beans are looking so awesome. They are really thick and creamy, which is exactly how I like them. And that was seriously so fast to throw together. The last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna squeeze a lot of fresh lime juice over top. And what this does is the acidity of the lime kind of wakens up all of those flavors that we've developed with the onion, with the garlic, with those fragrant spices, and it just brings them back to life a little bit. So do not skip the lime juice. Stir it on in, and at this point, we're pretty much ready to build our tostadas. And the third component for our tostadas is this cooling and creamy avocado crema. This sauce is so good. It is one that you're going to want to put on everything and have in your fridge at all times. So we'll start with a little sour cream, about 1/3 cup, right into a food processor. And we're going to add in a little garlic, a good handful of cilantro. There's no need to chop it. The food processor is going to do that for us. We'll add in some jalapeno. I'm just going to roughly chop this into a couple of bigger sections, and in it goes. And if you like something that's a little less spicy, be sure to take out those seeds and ribs. And then we will also add in our avocado. That's what makes this an avocado crema. And we can just spoon the flesh right in the rest of our ingredients. And the last thing we'll do is we'll add in some lime juice. So I've got 2 good juicy limes here, and we'll squeeze the juice right in. Season with salt, of course. We'll pop our lid on and blend this up. Give it a taste to make sure your seasoning is right. That is so good, seriously creamy. You get all of the freshness from the cilantro and that lime juice, but that kick of the avocado cuts right through it all. This is the perfect finishing touch for our black bean tostadas. All right, we've got our beans ready, our corn is sliced off the cob, our beautiful avocado is prepped and perfect, and all that's left to do is assemble our tostadas. Now, if you'd like, homemade tostadas are always the best option, but store-bought is sometimes the easiest, so that's what I'm using today. You can warm them according to the package directions or just leave them at room temperature. And from here, we'll start with a good amount of those creamy refried black beans. They're laced with all of that flavor from the onion, from the garlic, from those spices. This is really the heart of the recipe. It's so satisfying and so delicious. Our next stop is going to be the glorious avocado crema. This is creamy and cooling, and we're just gonna kind of spread it over top those beans. If you wanted to get really fancy, you could put it in a little Ziploc bag, snip off the corner, and drizzle it over top. It's gonna be very delicious either way. And lastly, we will just sprinkle some of our beautiful sweet corn over top. I really like those charred bits, so be sure to grab some of those. And the sweet corn adds a little sweetness, of course, but it also adds a really nice pop of texture. That is great against those creamy beans and that creamy sauce. And you could eat it just like this. A couple of other easy garnishes are cilantro. I am a nut for cilantro, so I think the more cilantro, the better. I've got a little cotija cheese, and I always finish with some fresh squeezed lime juice to balance all those flavors out and brighten them back up. And there is our beautiful black bean tostada, ready to eat, which is my favorite part. Those black beans are super creamy and super flavorful. That avocado brightens everything up, and that corn adds the perfect pop of texture. You're gonna be obsessed with these. And for a 30-minute dinner, it really doesn't get better than that. So head over to Plays Well with Butter for the full recipe. Be sure to make it soon. I think you're gonna be obsessed with it. Share it with the people you love, and be sure to like and subscribe for more unfussy recipes that pack a big punch of flavor. We'll see you next time.